Good morning, power hitters. Today is the 19th of October, 2021. My name is Jarrett McAllister, your mentor and co-host, alongside my main man, Jonathan Bernasso. What is up, brother man? How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing awesome, Jarrett. What are you thankful for today?
Thankful for a lot. I tell you what, this past week, I've had friends come up and visit, and I've been able to spend a lot of time with them, kind of show them around, and that's all possible to this business model.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being an entrepreneur, having my own schedule, being able to move things around. So I'm definitely thankful for this business model and being an entrepreneur right off the top of my head. How about yourself?
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, just seeing others, earn good income and develop and lead and close deals. And I think my brother just jumped on. He's in Portugal right now for 30 days selling virtually.
Awesome.
So yeah, I totally agree with you that freedom, like even Larry has too, in Mexico working his business, and seeing others have success. I never would have thought that would be my fulfillment measure. So yeah.
No, it's great. It's the lifestyle design and the flexibility and freedom of, it is a blessing and it is something to be grateful for. So thanks for asking that question. It's a good one.
There you go. Sure.
Yeah. Should we do some success stories?
I think so.
All right.
I think Owen had a success. Maybe he could tell us how he found this person, how they joined, how they got the lead, and what his success was.
So Austin was referred to me. He worked for a previous company that gave him high baselines, and he was sick of that. And he reached out to me, needing some help to close a deal out in San Jose. We had the appointment on Friday, and we closed it on Monday. Last night. So I'm excited for him. And just like me, he's a young father. Our kids are about the same age. So I told him my goal is to help him make money so he doesn't have to struggle, because I want a brighter future for his child. So it's pretty exciting that we have some similarities like that.
Awesome,
man. Congrats. So as a mentor, you get to help him with his deal 50-50, and you get some passive revenue share, right? Overrides off of him. So yeah, very cool. Congrats, Owen. Appreciate you. Owen is a mentor up in Northern California, PG&E territory. And was that in home or Zoom, Owen? I know you're muted there.
Sorry, that was via Zoom. He met them by knocking on their door. It was their third appointment. And we beat a Sunrun deal, and reassured them and not to dog on SolarEdge. Sunrun gave them SolarEdge, so I just told them all the perks of Enphase, and that pretty much had them locked in.
Very nice. Yeah.
And really quick, just for a learning experience, because this is why people want to show up here. We do have a lot of people who are new. Give us a quick rundown, quick elevator pitch why someone should choose Enphase over SolarEdge, Owen.
Yeah, so for me, it's I love that it's modular. I love that underneath each panel you have the inverter. So if one panel were to stop work on our inverter, your system will continue to work. Opposed to SolarEdge, since it is one system, if the inverter went down or a panel went down, the whole system goes down. And I also love the customer service with Enphase. They are very professional, get things done quickly, and I won't put anything but Enphase on a roof. People have the question, what if I need more panels in the future? Enphase is easier to add panels in the future since each panel comes with the inverter. But that's kind of my elevator pitch with Enphase.
Cool. No, it's very good. And as you mentioned, the differences between, I like to use the term decentralized technology, right? Because people like the term decentralized, and it is. If one was to go down, everything else is still working, where SolarEdge is a single point of failure. If it goes down, your whole system's not working. So I'm right there with you as far as Enphase versus SolarEdge.
It's almost like a decentralized solar platform, Jared. That sounds familiar.
Does sound familiar. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Jarrett.
Yeah,
Jared, also the plug and play abilities with Enphase later on, if they want to go batteries, because right now I try to, tell people, hey, batteries are expensive, but you have options down the road when they come down in price, because we're not getting them. So if you leave them with an Enphase, at least they don't have to go out and get an inverter down the road if you get them the wrong solar edge. And that's been the problem in the past as well.
that sounds like my pitch, Larry. Very good. No, I mean, yeah, I tell them, I say, yeah, I mean, the flexibility down the road, you get an electric car here in a couple years and you need more panels or you want to have that back. It's yeah, you're able to stack these things on like Legos, simple, easy. So it's very easy to beat out competition when you're able to show them Enphase all the benefits over solars. Not the solar edge isn't good. I mean, it works. I've sold it, for the beginning part of my solar career, but I definitely prefer Enphase over solar.
Yeah. The fact that we have Hanwha 400 black on black with Enphase and we have a 30-year warranty, guys. I mean, you have the best of the best right now with the best financing and the best pricing. Like, just I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah, no. Can I share a success story with you really quick that might, I'm actually kind of blown away by this. Hold on one second. So, where is it? This is on the fly. I just remembered this. But I was doing a deal for a mentee, and we thought we had him on the hook. He wanted to wait one more day. He then ends up calling me back and saying, hey, you know what? We decided to go with another company. And I was like, what, really? He was like, yeah, he's all, even though I think you guys are the better company, I saved a couple bucks with them. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to go down over losing a couple bucks. So I hit him hard with, oh, we're going to, I'll give you, price match and let me see what I can do. Send me the proposal. Let me see what I can make happen. And he ends up sending it to me and I crushed the competition, still with huge margins. And he was like, I don't really know though. I already signed with these other guys and honestly, they're very pushy. I don't want to tell them no. And I said, that is not a reason to go with the lesser company and pay a couple $1,000s more. And so hold on one second. This is unbelievable because he ended up sending a email to the other company and copying me on it. I got to share this with you. Hold on one second. Can you make it to where I can share my screen?
Go for it.
All right. So this, this is amazing. Hold on. I think you guys will get a kick out of this. So I'll share.
We're waiting.
So here it is. Here's the proposal I give them. Right, and it's a great deal. It's got the 400 watts. Got Enphase. Then he says, "This is the offer I've agreed to." From iLoom, never heard of them. And so I told him, "Hey, 400 watt panels, 30-year warranty, $2,000 less." He then transfers me over to. Here it is. This is the email. I should have shared this at Power Pioneers, but I'll share it with you guys. So this is the email to the other company, mind you. Hi, everyone. Justin and Sherry, meet Jarrett and Chris. They are from Power. They've come up with a proposal attached. It's $2,000 less than iLoom and has better panels. They are trying to convince me to cancel the plan I already have signed up with you guys because they insist theirs is better and I have 3 days from signing to change my mind. I got this. I was like, boy, no, he did not just do this. Jarrett and Chris meet Justin and Sherry. They're from iLoom. Yesterday, I signed with them to complete their proposal. I do not want to go back on my signature. However, I agree your plan is cheaper, your panels are better, and your warranty is longer. I realize this is unorthodox, but I'm exhausted being the middleman in all this. So can you just talk to each other and among yourselves and agree who has the best proposal? And just let me know who you all agree I should go with. I said, I cannot believe he just did this. So both proposals are attached right here. So what did I do? Because I'm I'm not going to lose this deal. So here's my response. Hello, Justin and Sherry. This is unorthodox to say the least, but since this is how Kevin would like for this to be handled, I would just ask you this. Given the two proposals below, if this was for your parents, which one would you pick? As Kevin mentioned, far superior panels, better warranty for $2,000 less. It's not even close. In all honesty, is there any reason why Kevin should pick yours over ours?
Oh my gosh.
So I sent that. 2 hours later, I get a text from Kevin. He said, the other company conceded, said you had the best deal. You win.
Gangster.
I had to share.
Great story.
I had to share that. I'm sorry. I just, yeah. So that got me my fourth deal last week. So you know, you got to hustle and grind, go those extra steps sometimes. This is what I do for my mentees, by the way. This was a mentee deal.
Jared,
Anyways.
bring in the heat. I love it. Good
Yeah.
stuff, man.
Anyways,
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move into some updates and then get into some training. And I'm gonna ask if JC's there to jump off mute real quick. JC, you out there, brother? What's up?
What's up, brother?
Howdy, howdy. Thanks for jumping on, JC.
go.
So JC, guys, you know, I'm gonna say it right now, but he's working on an amazing mentor factory with many leaders. That's coming up here. We'll get it in the chat. And then he also brought onto the team an amazing gentleman, and there's going to be a call tonight. So if you don't mind, JC, can you tell us about those two events?
Yeah, so I thank you for that, JB, by the way. So I've got a gentleman who comes from the same industry that I do, which is a network marketing industry. He actually comes from Primerica. He made millions of dollars with Primerica, started in New York. Then he went to Florida and he built offices with Primerica. And in 2008, he sold them and retired to the Dominican Republic. So he's been retired and he's coming out of retirement, so much so because he saw Power. He says, bro, Power is like Primerica on steroids with no chargebacks and 10 times the money. He says, I'm literally coming out of retirement to move to Florida to build Power. So tonight we're having an event at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He and I are going to be presenting. Mainly it's going to be him. And we're doing a big push because we're going to start really building a team. You know, our team now is hundreds of people, and we've got people making thousands of dollars weekly in the passive side. So my focus is to build a massive organization. So that leads to the Mentor Factory. We're doing a 2-day event on November 13th and 14th.
Real quick, JC, hey, Jonathan, I don't think you're showing the correct screen right now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that, JC.
No problem. So November, there you go. Thank you, bro. November 13th and 14th, we're doing a Mentor Factory. So it's a 2-day event. It's open for anybody that wants to come down. And we're going to be training on a lot of topics. As you guys can see, two handsome gentlemen right there, right? JB especially, and myself are going to be training, along with Luis Perez, 10 deals in a week. The following Monday, close 5 deals in a week, 7-month rookie in solar. And if you guys look at the Sunlight leaderboard, that guy's number 1, 7 months in the business, right? I never did solar before either. Same thing with David Perez. And we also have Keenan Garcia. And Charles Thompson, by the way, is going to be training at this event. So we're going to be training on a bunch of different things, right? How to close like a professional, presentation, role play. But a big one is recruiting mastery, right? I mean, I get 5 to 10 leads a day. I give them away. I mean, I cannot handle them. I don't even want mentor deals right now. Like, that's a good problem to have. So we're going to be teaching and putting a big emphasis on going out there and building a massive organization, right? And creating the systems in place to do that. So I think that anybody that goes to this event, regardless of who you are, whether you're the newest guy or a seasoned mentor, I think you're going to get a tremendous amount of value. The tickets actually go up tomorrow. So we're putting on this event at the DoubleTree in Anaheim, California. $149 is a single ticket. Couples tickets are $249. As of tomorrow, that option will be gone, and it'll be $199 singles ticket or $349 for a couples ticket. So, this is open to anybody. We have 100 seats sold, reserved. About 40 have already been sold. And I think today we're going to have a big burst of seats. And I really believe that we're going to do the entire 100 before the event. So anyways, that's it. Thank you, JB, for letting me share that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And that is going to be at the Doubletree Hotel, guys. So to cover, some light refreshments and to have a really nice venue, it costs a ton. So we're just trying to cover the venue cost here. And provide amazing value, right? One deal obviously could make you thousands, and I intend to teach on a lot of ways to go out and get a deal like that weekend. So this will be a nice event. If you're building a team, you want all your teammates here. If you want to sell more deals, you should be here. If JC says if you have a pulse or you can close a window, you should fog a mirror, you should be here. So thanks, JC.
One last thing about that is people ask me, as a matter of fact, somebody from your team asked me yesterday, that's flying in from, we have people flying in from New Jersey and different states for this event. He asked me about the COVID restrictions in California, right? And the vaccine mandate. Orange County this is in Orange County, not LA County. So in Orange County, it's, you don't need the vaccine mandate is not going to affect where we're doing the event. We're also going to have a section that's for people that want to wear a mask the entire time. That section is specifically for people that want to be around people, have a little bit more distance, and want to be wearing a mask the entire day. So that I mentioned that because there's some people that was a determining factor whether or not they would make it to the event. So we are going to take the precautions for those people that want to be in that section. You're more than happy to be in that section. But also for those of you guys flying in from other places, Orange County is a lot more lenient than LA County. So when we won't have those restrictions like we do in LA County.
Perfect. Yeah, got to respect everyone's health and lifestyles there. So always great. The link, Solar Mentor Factory, is in the Dropbox here, the chat. And like he mentioned, guys, he had Ed Ayala here on his call yesterday morning. And man, this is JC 2.0 right here. Like, this guy's seems really talented. He brought the energy, passion, fire. He has his own material already. Like, if you want to get pumped up, I don't say this often, like, you want to hear this gentleman tonight. So invite guests. You want people in front of him. JC, we're appreciative that you're extending this offer to the entire team and the family here. So this will be a great event, everyone. And then let's keep it moving. So future trainings today at 12 o'clock, there is a consultant training as always on Power Calendar. They're covering Solar Insure, the best 30-year warranty out there. So try to attend that if you want to learn more. Tonight at 6, Ed Ayala and JC are going to be rocking the house with a career Zoom opportunity. Why solar, why power, and why this is the best opportunity. Thursdays, if you're new or you have new teammates, get them to join an onboarding on powercalendar.com, 12 and 5 Pacific. Friday, guys, this Friday, 11 a.m., we're going to do a BNI training. If you're thinking about BNI, if you're in BNI, you want to do better at BNI, you want to invite your teammates to get in BNI, that is going to be Friday at 11. Tuesday next week, we will have Bobby Smith here on the team weekly training. So let's support him. He helps us out a lot. He's going to be covering the East Coast tour. He's going to tell us how to build teams, build cities, build leaders, build states, tips and tricks and scripts that he uses, including Lead Hero. So he said, I have to do this in advance. I have to build into it. I have to have good attendance if he's going to, jump on our team training. So hopefully we can all get behind Bobby Smith here. And that East Coast tour that he'll be talking about is November 1st through November 6th or 7th. The final dates and final addresses are almost all done. We'll have them this week from Charles Thompson. It'll be in the newsletter on Monday. So make sure to read the newsletter. We're doing North Carolina, Virginia, and New Jersey. And just so you guys know, those states are starting to make up like 25% of the proposal requests per day.
Wow.
So North Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey are starting to make up most of the proposal requests. And just some numbers for you, like yesterday, there were 53 proposals requested in California. There were 47 in Florida, and there was 109 in Texas. Now, that's not a direct correlation to sales. Maybe you could say it's a 10 to 15% close rate, whatever it is, but California is consistently edging out Florida now, but we're not quite beating Texas yet.
Not even close.
And I freaking want to, because a lot of us are there. But hey, sales are great everywhere, but California, I really want to kick some butt. So yeah, a lot of great things coming, growing the East Coast tour. You really want to get your people there in person at those events, meet Bobby, meet Charles. And then of course in Anaheim on November 13th and 14th, make sure to attend that Solar Mentor Factory. All these events and more on powercalendar.com. I
would really like to know what the closing percentage or the ratio versus proposals requested and closed, California to Texas. Just I'd be curious.
Yeah, and not only that, but take it one step further, the actualization rate or the pull-through rate.
There you go.
So I think we sell to install more than Texas because our team is amazing. And then just to recap, while I have everyone here, a few more updates. Northern California, as a reminder, and in the San Fran Bay Area, there's slight price increases. Work with pre-sales chat for more information. Double check your proposals, update your proposals, make sure the pricing is correct on the panels, make sure you have Hanwha 400s. So double check your pricing and proposals always.
Yeah, you'll have a proposal with some Jinko or some Eagle 375s. You're like, man, that price is really good. And then you go and realize it's because it says zero cents on it. So yeah, do not sell Eagle 375s on your proposals, you guys.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
JC, if you're still in here, if you know if that's going to be on Zoom, the Anaheim, I guess someone can't travel there. She was wondering if a Zoom or a recording might be offered.
It will not be via Zoom. However, we do have a camera crew that's going to be recording the entire event. So the event will also be put on it'll be for sale afterwards, a recorded version for a smaller price, probably $99 afterwards, and you could buy the entire event, right? So yeah, I mean, doing a live event, that many hours, that many speakers, and try to Zoom that thing, that would be a nightmare. Yeah. Not only that, we want people to come out to the event if they can. A couple of weeks afterwards, all of that content will be available that people can purchase online.
Any bonus gift for those that sign up before pricing goes up? Will they get a copy of the recorded when it's all said and done?
We haven't thought about that. I think that's a good question. So let me see. Certainly to the people, here's one thing I can say right now, and this is thanks to Jared, by the way. Thank you, Jared. Is anybody that buys their pre-sale ticket, right, will get that recording. I'll make sure that those people do get that recording. So
incredible value content. Love it, JC. That's
so
awesome.
I give that. Remember, that ticket goes up tomorrow, right? It's $50. And here's one thing. Look, if I may say this, coming from network marketing, right, and the team, but you guys are big on team building. The reason why we have so many leads and close so much volume is because of the team building, right? Luis Perez is a network marketer as well, and he's doing pretty damn good. And so we're going to be training hard on that, man. Not only how to close, how to prospect and get more clients, but also how to build a massive organization. And so this here is, a tremendous investment. These events here are events that if you got people that make it to this event, you might have people that they were about to quit next week. They go to this event, boom, and then they're lifers, right? This is going to change some people's career with Empower. I guarantee it, man.
Absolutely. Live in-person events. There's nothing like it.
Absolutely.
At all.
All right, good stuff. One or two more updates here. QCell 400s are the panel basically default right now. In a few weeks, maybe December, we'll see Canadian 395s. Some of the longy 355s out there are stuck at the ports. So we're trying to get that inventory in the next few weeks. I have a job or two that I sold the longies on that are stuck at the ports. Everyone knows that parts and labor and ports are an issue right now. So communicate it to your clients. And we do have a big contest right now, the Masters contest. It's running until December 15th. I think a little shout out to Larry McKinney. He's one of those people in the newsletter that got a shout out for doing well in the Masters contest. Somewhere in here. So good job, Larry. Make sure to read the newsletter too, everybody. All right, so that contest is going on. 2 points if you recruit someone that joins Power, and more points if that person sells a deal before December 15th. Lots of prizes, up to 10 prizes that are being given out. All right, so today, ladies and gentlemen, Jarrett and I are going to finish the Solar Mastery Training parts 5 and 6. It is covering HOAs. We're going to just have an open talk about HOAs and condos and who owns the roof and what the legal rights are. And then a little bit of solar eligibility, tilt, shade, azimuth. Keep it brief, pick up some talk tracks, pick up some nuggets, pick up, overcoming objections. When you hear some other solar pros and mentors talk about these topics, even I learned something new when I hear Jarrett describe something a certain way. So that's the goal here. We're probably going to take about 20 minutes and then we'll do some Q&A. Feel free to type in any questions into the chat box. So you ready to rock and roll, Jarrett?
Yeah, let's do this. Everybody's on the edge of their seat waiting to talk about this sexy topic of HOAs and shading. But yeah, let's power through, shall we?
Yeah, and if any mentors want to jump in or answer questions, feel free. All right, so kick things off here a little bit. HOA is referred to as a homeowners association. It is when there is basically like an entity that has rights in that community, whether the architectural board committee has to approve a patio that goes up. They have to approve solar. They have to approve a landscape design.
A new fence, painting.
Lots of stuff, yeah. Oftentimes, you have to fill out an application, and sometimes there's a fee. I've seen fees up to $800 that are refundable. They'll actually give it back to you. I've seen fees of $100 to $200. So it really depends where you're at. There's going to be a fee to go solar.
Now, does Power cover that fee, Jonathan?
Great question, Jarrett. They do not, and I do not recommend you covering it, guys. That is on the homeowner. Per our contract, that is a homeowner responsibility. If you want to put a homeowner rebate into your project, that's on you. If you give them a Red Lobster gift card at install, a bottle of wine, that's on you. But I highly recommend HOA, put the onus on to the homeowner. We'll help you fill out the application, Mr. Homeowner, but you have to get a neighbor signature sometimes and pay the application fee. So,
but Jonathan, what if my HOA says that I can't get solar? Then what?
So good question, Jarrett. A lot of HOAs do not own the roof, right? So when an HOA owns a roof, that's referred to as common area because it's not owned by the homeowner, it's owned by the HOA. A lot of times that's going to be a townhome or a condo when there's connected roofs, right? Now, if the HOA owns the roof, they can technically say that they don't allow solar because they own the roof. If the HOA does not own the roof, then legally they cannot stop you from going solar in most states. Check your local states. I think we have a few more slides here, but in California, for example, they cannot stop you from going solar. And here's one of the acts that would have made it illegal to restrict HOAs from prohibiting you from going solar.
The American Clean Energy and Security Act.
Yeah. So if they don't own the roof, even in an HOA, they legally cannot stop you from going solar. Now, there are sometimes restrictions. They may not want you to use the front of the home. But we can prove that if there's a 20% efficiency reduction by using other sides, that the front is allowed. So one HOA did push back saying, we don't really want it on the side of the home there on the front. And we said, hey, that's the best option. Any other area is going to be a reduction in efficiency.
That's good to know.
Yeah. And so each area is different. Each state is different, but I just wanted to give you guys some high level context. And Michael said, getting the neighbor's signature yourself is a great way to gain clients. Yeah. So there's an HOA application, oftentimes requires a neighbor's signature. If you go do it with your homeowner, if you go do it yourself, if your homeowner does it and they're your ambassador and they know you're giving them $1,000 check, gold.
It's a great way to forces you to cloverleaf, right? Because typically you need the signatures from the neighbors on the left and the right, the 3 in front, everyone just that's right immediately connected to the home.
Right.
But yeah, now you're talking to homeowners, you're talking to them about solar, you're going to generate a lead, maybe even 2. So yeah, great opportunity there.
And Larry brings up a good point. You know, look at Google Maps or Near Maps or whatever you use. If there's solar in that gated community, you probably can go solar there. If it's one giant building with 20 units in one building and one roof, that's probably what's called a condo. And you can tell the homeowner, hey, why don't you call your HOA, Mr. Condo owner, and see, will you allow me to go solar? So if there's no solar there and it's a condo or a shared roof, you want them to call their HOA, or maybe you get the phone number and you call their HOA to do
And
that.
typically, I mean, I don't know if you, in your experience, but my experience, the conversation about the HOA usually comes up as we're signing the agreement, right? Towards the end, and we get to that part where it says, do you have an HOA or no HOA? And I ask them, and if they say, yes, they have an HOA, don't make it a big deal, right? Don't make it like to where they feel like they have to do research before finishing off signing. Just let them know, say, hey, HOA cannot, and this really applies for individual single family homes, not so much condos like Jonathan mentioned about the common roof and you might share it with other neighbors. But when it comes down to a single family home, just make them feel confident that, listen, your HOA can't stop you from putting on solar. It's actually against the law, but you're definitely going to want to call them and fill out the application. But
100%. Yeah. Make it no problem. It's easy. We've done it before. Even the project manager will help fill in some of the text box and then send it to the homeowner to do their 2 parts. And it says here, 24 states, including Texas, have solar access laws that limit HOAs from banning solar panels. So really, an HOA cannot stop someone from going solar. And yeah, here's a Texas code, right? That there's really no bans allowed in Texas for going solar with HOAs there. A lot of HOAs are in Texas, I believe, all those new homes. Florida Solar Rights Act, again, you know, the Rights Act gives more rights to the homeowners, less rights to ban it from the HOAs. So just good news, know your state or your local jurisdiction. And especially with this administration, you know, I think it's very solar prone, like very open to solar. It's only going to get better. There's this thing called the solar app where you can submit a permit and get approval within days sometimes. So we're only going to see, hopefully, things get better. Of course, this industry is booming and growing at 100x. So everyone's trying to keep up, and the cities have low labor right now. So we are seeing increased timelines on permits and stuff. So, all right, HOA versus solar. dealing with these HOAs can sometimes be frustrating, even when the law is on our side. So sometimes you have to go back and forth, talk to the right person, wait for the architectural board committee to meet. Sometimes they meet once a month. If they're good, they'll approve it once a week. So try to get the HOA to approve it sooner than later. I just had an install pull off because that guy had an HOA. Either I forgot or he didn't tell me. There's a $450 truck roll fee because he wanted to take a week to get the HOA approval. And so now we're rescheduling installation. So try to get ahead of the HOA if they have one.
Now, could somebody put solar on their roof without approval of their HOA?
Yeah. So yeah, kind of the last few things here for the HOA. You know, some companies had something called like a COVID bypass, where if they just wanted to install it and they didn't really worry about the HOA, you know, that's their liability. That's up to them. Some HOAs are like ran by 2 local neighbors and there's only 10 homes and they said, just do it, or my HOA is not that involved. In general, though, I have to say you should get HOA approval for solar. It's just probably the better way to go. And then I do want to mention one other thing. On townhomes or condos where there are a few connected units with one roof, generally that could be common area or the homeowner could own that roof, okay? And in California, I'm going to be relating to it more so. Other states might be different. When there is a shared roof, it could be townhome or condo, if the homeowner owns their roof, then great, you can go solar. And when it comes to become an issue is sometimes the lending. So if the title shows condo, sometimes townhome, but condo, like Good Leap and Sunlight do not like to lend on condos, especially if the homeowner does not own their roof. You'd have to find somewhere in the HOA bylaws or CC&Rs that says the homeowner owns the roof. So if the lender finds out that they don't own the roof, our lenders are not really a fan of that. But what does that mean? The HOA owns the roof. They're willing to allow the homeowner to go solar. So you may have to do like a cash deal, or they have to get their own funding. In that situation, HOA owns the roof. They allow solar. You get your own cash dealer funding. The HOA is assigning liability of the roof back to the homeowner, saying, if there's a leak, it's on you. If we put a new roof on this community, you're lifting your solar and putting it back. Of course, we have a 30-year roof warranty through Solar Insure or a 10-year default warranty through Power without Solar Insure. So just to get a little detailed on some nuances there of HOA, who owns the roof. But in general, we work with HOAs. They cannot legally stop us. Work with your leadership or mentor or pre-sales for additional questions.
Good stuff.
Anything else on HOA?
No, does anybody else have any questions about this beautiful, sexy topic?
So fun. So fun. All right, let's keep it going. Let's knock out some solar eligibility here, Jarrett.
All right, yeah, let's do this.
So shading, roofing, cost of energy, or credits are all things that make a deal eligible or not eligible. Mr. Homeowner, Jarrett, we need to see if you're eligible for solar. Like 1 in 4 homes don't qualify.
I love that takeaway. That was the Charles Thompson move that I learned a couple of years ago, right? Not everybody qualifies for solar. Let's see if you are eligible.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when they talk about solar access, I don't know. It's been kind of funny. I've had one mentee. He would enter in a proposal. It was like in Placerville, Northern California, and I opened up the lead, and this dude is just thick in the middle of the forest. I was like, do they even know how solar works, bro? Like, yeah, it does require sun. Like it's not magic, man. But yeah, it's this is a lot of this stuff is common sense when it comes into it. When I first learned, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But when you talk about like, the rotation of the sun and what parts of the roof get the most solar. So, right here we show like a sun map, and on certain proposals, and I'm not sure why it's only on some and not on others. But when you go into a proposal on Solo, you can actually click a button and it'll show you the hot spots, like the parts of the roof that are getting the most sun exposure. And obviously this is solar, right? So the panels that get the most sun exposure are going to produce the best. And so, you have your south facing roof planes. Because of where we're located on the globe, they are going to get the most sun exposure, right? The way that the sun passes over. But then from there, I'd say it's probably east and west, probably about equal. Would you say that, Jonathan?
Yeah, west, depending on what state you're in, is usually a tad better than east.
Okay.
South and west are usually the best in California.
And because of time of use, and the fact that they give higher credits in the evening, if all things being equal, you would want to pick the west side because you'll get those higher credits in the evening. But then, north is going to get your least amount of production, right?
Exactly.
And that's without any trees in the area. Then you have, then you got trees. And this was one of the things that when I got into this industry, I was like, man, how can you guys talk about saving the planet, doing good, but then you're like, yeah, we're going to chop down these trees over here. We're going to cut these back. I always thought that was, it kind of went against what we're trying to do. But, with that being said, you don't always have to cut down trees. You can trim them back. Now, Jonathan, do panels still produce when shades on them? I mean, does it need direct sunlight? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, in general, you don't want to put panels in these two, pictures that we just saw here. You want to try to avoid the shading because, yeah, those panels really aren't going to be producing energy. They'll probably get turned off with the amount of shade on those right there. So you definitely want to avoid that. And sometimes solo designers won't put panels north, or they won't put panels where there's lots of shading. Because like the prior slide said, you need to have like 60% solar access to qualify. So if you ever don't see panels, it could be shading, or it could be north, or it could be the tilt on it.
Yeah. And this also goes back to some pro tip, you guys, when you guys are doing your discovery call, talking with the client, and you Google Map, to Google Earth their home, or, if you haven't physically been to the location, if you see big trees, talk to the homeowner, say, hey, I noticed that you got, some tall pine trees or palm trees here in the area. Do you still have those? A lot of the times, shockingly, they're going, oh, actually, no, we had that tree removed, or, oh, it's been trimmed back. So then when you get the proposal back from Solo, when you hit the edit on the panels on the top left-hand corner, you can actually open it up. And it'll talk about, we actually should have this up, Jonathan, on the proposal, if you want to pull this up while I'm talking, so we can give an example. But it'll say the shading of each individual, plane of all the solar panels, right? Each array of panels. And so if you get it back and it says, oh, it's huge shading over here, but the tree's been removed, that's when you're going to want to request a proposal revision and just let them know, hey, they've actually cut these trees back, make it 3% or 5 or 10% shade rather than the 35 or 40% of what it was. When you get that proposal back, those panels will be producing more kilowatt hours. So yeah, this is a great example right here. This breaks down each array. So as you guys all know, multiple panels put together is called an array of panels. And so they have an array number 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can tell which one it is by the number of modules, panels, reflect the amount that are on the roof. So you have your azimuth. Your azimuth is the degree of location in a 360 degree. So as you can see right there, you have a couple, well, I don't see where those arrays are at because there's nothing on them. But you have the 100, then you have the 280 degree, 278 degree. So just shifted slightly. And then you have your tilt. Why don't you go ahead and talk about tilt, Jonathan?
Yeah, so I'll pull up one more too right here. This
is a good one.
Does have some big trees back here. So I did have to get a little bit more detail on the shade. So the 26 panels on the back have about a 30% shade, and some of the front panels have a 16% shade. It does affect the sun hours. You do need more panels to get the same production. But hey, it still makes sense in a lot of states, and especially in California. So the tilt here is showing 20 degrees, and that matters, right? If these front 13 panels, that looks to be north, northeast facing, right? Our designs are always true north, true south. So this is northeast facing. If the tilt is more than 20 degrees, if it's 30 or 40 degrees, it's really not getting sun because it's north facing. And in the winter, the sun banks more towards the horizon. So then your north really doesn't get any production. So you always want to know that. Of course, the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. And in the winter, the sun banks more closer to the horizon. In the summer, the sun is more overhead. So tilt definitely matters when it comes to production.
And give us that range of tilt again for those. What's a good tilt? What's a bad tilt that you want to look out for?
I mean, 20 to 25 is about typical.
Okay.
If you look up, I don't know if it's in our training, but if you look up just average roof tilts, 20 to 25 is, depending on the state also, is normal. And again, if it's higher than that, like if it's west facing and it's really tilted, it's only going to get afternoon. You're not going to get that much morning, right? But if it is 10, 15, 20 degrees, you're going to get more morning, and then you're going to get hit all afternoon. So it does affect the sun hours, how many hours the sun hits that array based on the tilt and the shade and the direction. And remember, we use longitude and latitude, so they know where your home is located, and they use 40 years of weather data from PV watts to estimate this production. We also don't use the high end estimate. We use the lower end estimate so that we meet or surpass our customers' expectations when we give them a proposal. If you see another company giving someone a 10 kilowatt Bob and it's going to give you 15,000 kilowatt hours, well, Mr. Customer, that homeowner is going to leave you hanging in a year. You're going to owe the utility money. They're giving you way too high of an estimate. We give conservative estimates to meet or surpass your expectation. Do you want to owe the utility $800 at the end of this year, Jarrett?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going solar.
Nice.
Hey, Jonathan, if you go back to that tool, just something for the new people.
Yeah.
Back to the proposal you had.
Let me do it.
Maybe I jumped in here too late. But if you go to edit.
Yeah, this is what I was initially talking about right here. Good
If you
job.
go to the panel arrays on the left side there, I use that a lot because it's going to tell you the direction and shading. And then you can, sometimes it's hard to figure out which array is what. So if you just click a panel off live, you can see which array you're messing with, which I think is a pretty cool tool. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank
Good
you.
call, Owen.
Good stuff. And then just going back here to the training, I'm just having a little difficulty with this. All right.
This is
Yeah, and so this one has pretty high tilt, it looks like. So that's why you can see shading going on in the afternoon on this one. And then let's look at some examples here, Jared. So obviously on this big building, it looks like it's south and north. Which one would be the place to put the solar?
Yeah, so obviously you guys always want to put panels south facing. whenever possible. Sometimes though, it's going to require north facing panels to get, to that offset that you're looking for. And at that point, you're just kind of, weigh out the risk reward, or the ROI on putting those panels up there.
Yeah, this customer has got a bunch of tall trees around them. Some simple math, a little advanced. This is a 10 kilowatt system and it's only producing 10,000 kilowatt hours. So those sun hours is about 1,000 sun hours. Normally you could be up to 1,600 sun hours, right? 60% better. So this has a crap load of shading and it may not make sense in Texas or Florida if it's this bad, especially not in Idaho. Like you said, Jarrett, trimming trees, if they've removed a tree, maybe Solo doesn't know, always good to bring that up. We talked about the winter sun path versus the summer sun path. I'm sorry, let me move this chat box real quick. Yeah, so the winter banks more towards the, right here, the dashed line here, this sun is more of the winter, and then the summer, it's more overhead, this sun. So good little image there. Maybe we could bring up cleaning real quick. I tend to say you could get your panels cleaned once or twice a year, maybe every other year. Usually a guy will get up there for $100 with deionized water and some nice bristle and clean it properly. It's not required. The rain that we get will give it a free rinse. But here in California, I say once a year, once every 2 years is fine. Some of my clients will rinse it with a hose. Not mandatory, but it can help.
Especially after fire season, when your panels are covered in ash due to global warming and fires all throughout California.
Yeah, Anders, I always make it a joke. I say, those 3 days of rain here we get in California, that's when you get your free rinse. All right, so is this thumbs up or thumbs down? Bad one. You guys sell on this home, you can get kicked off this team. I'm just kidding.
I'll sell though.
I hate you. We got good homes up here, clear south facing. Unfortunately, this person, they got north on the front and their south is just blocked by these trees. Not a good candidate. Perfect south facing roof. Nice exposure there.
Beautiful.
Same
Beautiful.
here. Good one. Always have to check if the roof is in good condition. And then we talked about the angle and the tilt making a difference. Jared already mentioned south is the best, west and east are usually the next best. If you're in a time of use utility, west is even more important. South is even more important. If you're doing east in a time of use utility, you're going to need a few extra panels on the east to make up for the time of use. And lastly, Jarrett, why do setbacks matter? What the heck's a setback?
Setbacks have to do with like fire codes and city ordinances about how close you can put panels to the edge of the roof and ridge lines. And, and so there's typically, what is it, about a 3-foot setback? Sometimes it's a 1-foot setback. It really depends. A lot of it has to do with fire codes. And so when you get a proposal back, you might say, hey, I could fit a lot more panels on here than what it shows. And that's because the designer is incorporating setbacks when they're designing it. So what I've come, what Bernasso taught me a long time ago is that, hey, sometimes request a proposal and say, please do 1-foot setbacks instead of 3, or no fire setbacks. And you'll be able to get a lot more panels on your proposal. Now, when you do that, you do run a higher risk of when it comes time for design, it's not going to be like what you said, or you won't be able to fit that many panels. And you'll have to do, you'll have to switch it up as far as the design goes. but more often than not, in my experience, it works out to be able to show that many panels on the roof and to be able to submit it that way. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, perfect. You know, basically, imagine the top of the roof. There should be 1.5 feet on one side and 1.5 feet on another side. If there's a fire and a firefighter needs to walk on that roof and make a hole or attic access or whatever they do, there has to be that clearance. And that's what it's for. A firefighter will walk up on your roof safely if your house catches on fire. So there's permit, fire codes, there's setbacks. Some jurisdictions have a 1 foot, 1.5 foot. Sometimes we can squeeze some more in there, like Jarrett said. Sometimes if it's a structure like a garage, a standalone garage or another structure, sometimes setbacks don't apply to those, a garage or a separate structure. So Solo does a pretty conservative job. Just usually sell what's there. Like Jarrett said, if you have to say, do a revision, please put more panels, please put horizontal panels, please put a 1 foot setback. Normally the Solo designer will be a little bit gracious and give you a few extra panels there. So very, very good. Such exciting topics, Jarrett.
Yay, we'll power that through. You guys excited? Let's get you fired up. Want to finish off the rest of the month strong?
Yes, yes.
Hopefully it's a good learning experience. I know this stuff is not super sexy to talk about, but I tell you what, when I first got into solar, I was glued. I was like, okay, tell me more, because, this is the basics, right? This is the foundation. This is how solar works. And you need to be able to explain this to a customer. It doesn't come up a lot. If you're talking about all this stuff during your presentation, you're not really doing it right. But sometimes these questions do come up and you do need to know how to answer it.
100%. Yeah. Once you watch a few presentations, you have the basics down. The only other thing is going to be the detailed questions, objection handling, and those one-off questions. And that's where the experience comes in, and having the talk track. Why can't you put more? Or do I have to wash these things? Or why can't you put them on the east? I don't want them on there. You have to confidently answer all these questions. All right, a few last things and we'll stop this recording. Just as a reminder, we have a consultant training on Power Calendar Solar Insure. Again, tonight, guys, JC and Ed Ayala, you don't want to miss Ed. He's amazing, brings a lot of energy. So I highly recommend just hearing him out. He puts things in a different perspective coming from his background. And then this Friday, we've got the BNI training. And then next week, Bobby Smith will be on our team weekly training here, teaching us and showing us how to build teams and recruit and get that passive income. Even if you're new here and you bring someone in, you can earn revenue share passively. Some people don't know that. And then two last announcements here. We do have a brand new marketing director. Her name is Cami. She is amazing. There is also a new officer that came from a very, very, very large solar company. And that person's name will be announced with a PR web release in the coming weeks. It is a very exciting announcement. Anyone in the industry will have probably known or heard of, or when they see this caliber joining our team, we will now have 4 officers reporting directly to Jonathan Budd, all C-level executives. So it's really exciting what's going on. That'll be announced soon. The corporate team, just so you know, are all meeting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's brainstorming going on, new operations, new meetings with this director of marketing, the new officer, a lot of things going on. So very exciting. And then Power Hour on Monday will be with Melissa Dawson. And then that's a good one to invite. We really celebrate a lot of women here. So if there's women looking to get into solar, Melissa is an amazing example of someone leading a team in Idaho. She's been remote, building a team, selling deals. We weren't even in Idaho. And
she doesn't just build teams, she builds houses. She's building her dream home.
Yeah.
Lakefront property in North Idaho. She's even further north than I am, and she's been crushing it for years. Yeah, one of the early pioneers of power, actually.
Totally, yeah. So we'll hear her story Monday. So a lot of stuff, guys. Try to put some on your calendar. A lot of exciting things going on as we close out this year, and looking forward to the Anaheim Mentor Factory. So again, Jared, big shout out for always bringing the energy and the knowledge. I know you're 2.5 years into solar and you're kicking butt already. So appreciate you helping the team and helping mentees out as well.
You got it, brother.
All right, all right. Let me go ahead and stop this.